People want to play a game, but they want to tell their story. They want to be a part of a story. And so building content and having a creative sandbox-like experience is really key to being able to have your story told in an entirely different world and live in a world that you would never get to in the real world. That's why we play games. Echoes of Elysium takes place in the Greek afterlife of Elysium. It is the combination of clockwork monsters and airships meets a beautiful world that you can go and try and survive in. The airships are really the creative outlet for the player. We want them to build the airships from the very first moment they get into the game. We found ourselves spending just hours building ships and just putting together these really unique shapes. So we thought it'd be really fun to let everybody else do this. So we did not know what we were going to build when we first started. We knew that we wanted to build a survival game, and we knew that we wanted to build Airship, but that was kind of it. So we started building a platform and experimenting with Unreal and Unity and even our own, and sort of exploring which one we wanted to go with. As time went on and we started hiring people from the industry, they had a preference for Unity. And so really it came down to saying, well, the talent pool we have likes Unity, they've worked in Unity, it works well with what we're trying to do. And we were targeting a very specific style of art that our art director felt Unity could handle better. So over time, we eventually just sort of migrated towards Unity more and more, and then finally was like, this is what we're doing. So we started off looking at height maps, but it's an airship game, so lots of verticality. And we weren't getting the verticality we wanted out of height map. So we created a procedural-based voxel engine based on the Marching Cubes algorithm that allows us to build these incredibly cool islands that float around the world. So every time you play the game, when you create a new world, the whole thing is procedurally generated. Generally speaking, because of the procedural nature of the game, we can generate things on the fly. We don't have to generate everything right away. We don't have to load everything into memory right away, and we can do it as the player moves forward into the world. We only have to worry about loading the islands into the player sees at that moment. So we use lots of different layers of LOD to make sure we're loading and tracking objects at the right time. So the server side handles a lot of that in terms of figuring out what we need to track. We have 8 different layers of LOD. And so we've had to figure out how to bring really interesting points of interest into a procedural world. So it actually felt like it was handcrafted. So we began to explore technology that we call procedurally handcrafted, where we leverage not only standard algorithms for procedural generation, but we use mesh objects as seeds so that we can actually have some control over what islands can look like and shape like. Some of them are completely procedurally generated. Some of them are a little bit more of us guiding what we want the island to look like so that the point of interest can fit in there and blend in very nicely. Pretty much everyone in the studio came from AAA studios, from Bethesda and BioWare, and we've all worked on huge games. But to some degree, that's not why we got into gaming. And I was saying, look, I think we should get back to our roots. Like, we don't need a big team anymore. Especially with tools like Unity, we can do it with a smaller team. And so we've kept the studio fairly small, sub 20 people, in the belief that it can be done now with the right tools, the right expertise, and the right vision, and the right partners. And so ultimately, leaving the AAA world was not a hard decision to make when we were given the opportunity to go and bring our own vision to life and really get back to delivering value to the players and less about monetization. I think the biggest thing I would caution people with is when you're a small studio and you move from a large studio, for example, smaller studios can have a lot more whiplash. So as you're trying to find your way and find the fun, you're changing directions. So I would say the piece of advice I'd give to anybody who's going to go do this, and they should, because there is no better thing in the world than to bring a vision together with your friends and bring it to the players. It is amazing. So I highly encourage anybody to do it. But if you are going to do it, be prepared for late nights with lots of change to what you're building. That can be pretty chaotic. But it is where the beauty of creativity comes from, is chaos.